types of custom fields. These are going to be fields that you will need to capture the appropriate metadata to track your samples successfully throughout the lab. In this video, we are going to talk about derived sample custom fields in a no output step. These are going to be your steps where the samples are not being plated into a new container. An example of this would be on the bench where you have samples on a plate, but you are adding reagents to that plate. Therefore, the field set on this step is going to be set on the input sample. First thing we are going to do is create a derived sample field. In this example, it will be assay to run. To get a new field, we are going to open the configuration tab. Click on custom fields, and then go to derived sample. We can expand out this section by clicking the arrow. All of the field names need to be unique. If you try to add a field name that already exists, you will get an error. For derived sample fields, if the field already exists, you can either use that field name that exists in the system, and if you're going to use the field that already exists in the system, I would look how the field is configured and see if there are any presets. If there are, and you make changes, just know that this will affect another step in the system. From there, you can make a judgment call to update the field or create a new field with a slightly different name. Click the green plus button and add your field name. Once you give the field a name, do not press save yet. The immediate next thing you should do is define the field type. You have a few different options for this configuration. You can select text or text dropdown, which will be alphanumeric, numeric, or numeric dropdown, which will be numbers only, hyperlink or hyperlink dropdown, which will appear as a link in the UI, multi-line text, which I do not recommend having this configuration type on a per sample level because it does not show up well in the UI and will only show up as a single line. A toggle switch, which will appear as a checkbox in the UI, or date, which is brought into the system as a date format. For now, I'm going to make this a text dropdown with 3 assays. We are also going to make this a mandatory field with no custom entries. Once you have confirmed the field name and the field type, then click Save. After you hit Save, you will notice that the field type gets locked in, which is why we don't want to click Save right away. To add this field to my step, I'm going to click on Lab Work. Then I'm going to click on the step, click on Record Details, because this is where I would like the field to be displayed. Scroll all the way down to the bottom under Table Columns, and click the blue plus. A pop-up will appear on the right side of the screen, and we want to make sure we select Derived Sample. The new field will be all the way at the bottom. Click the field name, and then click the blue check. Drag and drop the field in the order that you would like to see it on the Record Details screen. Then scroll up and click Save. Now we're going to go back to the lab view and start the no output step. we will see that there is no placement, and we will go right into record details. We can see that our assay to run field is displayed. It has an asterisk next to it, meaning that it's mandatory. And I'm unable to type into this field, meaning that there is no custom entries. Once all of my samples have the field filled in, I am going to push them into next steps. Now I think that this may be the most important part to this video. I'm going to repeat this step, meaning that these same 8 samples will rerun through the no output step. What will happen is, since we set the derived sample field on the input sample, because these samples were not plated and no derived sample was made, when we rerun these samples, the assay to run field will already be populated. Let's go into the no output step again. Grab our 8 samples that have been waiting 0 minutes and start the step. Here we can see the assay to run field is already populated. If this were a real configuration that you needed in the lab, we can use one of the toolkits to empty out the field automatically when entering this step.